Hey guys, so I wanted to come back and do this video. What the reason I'm doing this in particular is, and it's just a short video, is because when I went through Lively's motions for fees, cost, the section 47.1 damages, I kind of picked up on a lie, and then in the video in real time, I was like, no, and I was a bit annoyed, and I think I expressed that, but I don't want to just say, "Oh, no, that's not true," and then not come back with, like, my sort of paper trail of, "And here's where you contradict yourself, and here's where you contradict yourself." So I wanted to put it all together, and I have done a next post, but, I appreciate that not everyone that follows me, on here follows me on X or even has X. So, um, for the people who either prefer a video or don't have X, this is for you. So this is the page 4 of the motion for the damages, etc., the fees from Jed Wallace. And Lively's just bleating on about what the CRD complaint and why she filed it, etc. And, this is what they said about me. And one of those things she claims is that Wayfarer misleadingly blamed her for production members' job losses. And we know there was more than one person who lost their job, but I'm going to just kind of stick with Julie Bloom, who was the first AD. And the reason I'm doing that is because, there is paper trails talking about her. So I'm actually going to start here first. I know people will be jumping up and down going, yeah, she said it in a PGA letter. I'm getting there. I will be going there next, but I've got a really good reason for wanting to start here, which I'll show you. So this is a message thread between Warren Zavala, who is Lively's WME agent, and Ryan Reynolds. It's dated the 17th of August 2024. So Warren Zavala is saying to Ryan Reynolds, I'm hesitant to put it in writing, but the AD issue is true. I haven't spoken to her, meaning Blake Lively. I haven't spoken to her about this issue. But he is saying they have to assume there is a paper trail on the Wayfarer side. It was B who wanted her fired. Now, Ryan Reynolds then comes back and says, yes, the AD was fired. She wasn't keeping people safe on set. She was negligent in almost every way. And one of the reasons Blake and the other women dealt with so much dark behaviour. So now we are now blaming this poor assistant director for Lively and Jenny Slate, having their experiences, which I just think's completely fucked up. And to be honest, I don't like it. He then goes on to say she was let go before going back to work. So that was at the end of phase 1. But this bit's interesting, okay? And I will say, just remember the reason that Ryan Reynolds says that she was let go, right? It is because, according to him, she wasn't keeping people on set safe. And she was negligent in almost every way. Ryan Reynolds then goes on to say, and this was almost part of the return to work document. But they hired a new AD. So he's saying, Lively demanded it, that she be let go. Wayfarer let her go. Had they not done that, though, then we would have made this part of that 17-point list, effectively making it an 18-point list. But because Wayfarer did as they were told, it negated the need for this demand to go and join the rest of the demands. Okay, and again, just to remind you, this poor woman was fired because, according to Ryan Reynolds, she did not keep the set safe and was negligent in almost every way. Now let's go to the PGA letter. And I'm quoting Blake Lively here. I unfortunately was responsible for the firing of our first AD, Julie, as we were not making our days for the first many weeks, and I had the 20 years of experience to see that the days were not bordered well enough from the get-go, and her experience was not appropriate for the film we were making. So, just a quick question, everyone. Did anyone hear anything from Blake Lively in this PGA letter about the first AD being fired because she didn't keep the set safe and was negligent in almost every way? No? I'm glad it's not just me. Again, there is absolutely nothing about sexual harassment in what is effectively Blake Lively's own words. And in fact, this whole PGA letter makes no reference to sexual harassment or how they had to deal with it. But the fact that this was going to be a condition in the 17-point list, right, had this lady not been fired, and the fact that she has cited in the PGA letter the firing of this AD makes me believe, for me, it's proof. It may not be court standard proof, but for me, it is proof of what I have been saying since all the way back in February last year. When I first started covering this case, I did a whole thread that I believe the 17-point list was purely a shopping list to basically coerce Wayfarer into giving her everything she needed, all the ingredients to bake a PGA cake. I really do now, more than ever, because, again, Ryan Reynolds himself says to Warren Zavala that firing the first AD was going to be part of the return to work document. But Wayfarer, basically eliminated that as a necessity. However, she still put it in there anyway. The fact that she, achieved this and was responsible for it. But the reasons are very different. Because Ryan Reynolds is saying, well, it's her fault. Everyone was sexually harassed on that set and uncomfortable on that set, all because of this one person, this woman. So we fired her. She was so negligent. And then you look at Blake Lively's reasons why she was fired. Not even a whiff of sexual harassment. Just that, Blake Lively didn't think she was experienced enough. Blake Lively has 20 years of experience and therefore is the better person to know what she's talking about. Blake Lively, by the sounds of it, needed authorship. So make of that what you will. Let me know what you think, though, because I'm hoping that, again, Wayfarer will bring up this kind of stuff and say, hold on a minute, there's a discrepancy here. And kind of at least present the case, as I have here, like, oh, we have this list of stuff, the 17-point list, that what you say you needed to keep the set and the cast safe, yet, you basically baked it into your PGA letter. Isn't that convenient now that you've done enough to earn a PGA through the same document? And hopefully then the jury will see it for what it is, the extortion that it really was.